Shalom, Yasha Allah. His brother Mapathak, right? That'll be key, but in ancient Paleo Hebrew, right? And it's going to be a video going into brotherly love, right? Chiefly meditating on Hebrews 13:1, right? Where the Lord said through Paul, let brotherly love continue, right? Which is what we have to do in these last days, right? We have to love our brother, right? We have to love our sisters in these last days, right? And I want to get right into the words of the Lord. Before we go into it, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's all praises to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh, and the name of his only begotten Son, who the world will ignorantly call Jesus Christ. But we know him as Yahweh Shai, the righteous, right? And we're going to kind of dive right into this thing. Let's go into the book of, we're going to start it off in Hebrews 13, all right? Let's go into the book of Hebrews, to the 13 and verse 11. Salakia. Right, so this is the book of Hebrews. Salakia, not 13 and 11. This is Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 1, and it reads, let brotherly love continue, right? That's the precept, right? That's plain, right? The Lord said, let brotherly love continue. And that's what we're doing in these last days through the preaching of the gospel, right? Through rebuking and reproving one another, right? So that our brother doesn't suffer in sin, right? We're going to get that in the law, right? That's letting brotherly love continue, right? Because ultimately, the teaching of the commandments, right, and the keeping of the commandments is brotherly love, right? Because if I keep the commandments, I'm not gonna covet after what my brother has, right? I'm not gonna lust after my brother's wife. I'm not gonna steal from my brother, right? I'm not gonna want to put my brother to death, right? And that's a lot of that's a huge problem in our community, right? In the so-called black community, right? Hey, we got an evil eye towards each other, right? And ultimately, that's a curse because we don't walk with the Most High God. We walk contrary to the words of the Lord, so we're a cursed people, right? So let me get that before I go to Leviticus. Let me bring that out through His Spirit, right? So this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 54, and it reads, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate. So at this time, hey, we used to be tender among one another. You understand? We were delicate among one another, right? I might see a brother, right? He kind of ain't got a coat on. He kind of shivering, right? Hey, I might take the coat off my back and give it to my brother and say, hey, I got another one at the house, man, right? I might be about to damn eat a burger, whatever it may be, right? I would see my brother, hey, he kind of rubbing his stomach. He's starving. I'm kind of not that hungry. I give my food to my brother. I'll make sure the well-being of my brother is good, man. Right? You might see one another and say, hey, how your household going? You need anything? Need any money? Whatever it may be. Hey, we were tender and delicate among one another. Right? Today, the so-called black man, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, right? Hey, we don't treat each other like that no more, man. We rob each other in the streets, right? We make it a damn something cool to lay with another brother's woman, man. Right? We think it's something cool to finesse our brother out of money, right? To break into our brother's house, right? Whatever it may be. Brothers think it's cool to kill their brother, man. Right? When you listen to our music, the so-called black community, right? When you listen to our music, it's all about adultery, right? Laying with another man's woman, right? Murder, right? Killing your own brother, right? And then robbery, man. Stealing from your own brother. You understand? It's a bunch of wickedness, right? But that's all contrary to the Lord. So I'm going to read this again. It says, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54, and it reads, that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, right? His eyes shall be evil toward his brother. So like we just went into, now our eye is evil toward our brother, right? And it says, and toward the wife of his bosom, right? And even towards our woman, right? A lot of men, they go to jail for domestic violence. They kind of killing their woman, right? They kind of stumping them out in the middle of the street. Hey, whatever it may be, right? Now our eye is also evil towards our own woman, right? And it says, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, and even towards our children. A lot of so-called black people, they never met their dad, man. I mean, Salaki, they never met their dad. And when I say so-called black, I'm talking about the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Because in this world, they call us all damn niggas, man. Right? So when I say that, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all the Israelites. You understand? So I'm going to read that again. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, man. So this is a curse that is placed on our people because of our disobedience. You understand? That's why it's no love, right? And the love is actually waxing colder and colder in these last days, right? I remember when I was a kid, I used to see a bunch of little kids. Hey, I used to see different kids knocking on each other's door. Can such and such come outside and play? Right when I was a kid. Hey, can Keon come out and play? Hey, you don't see that no more. I used to see different neighbors asking each other for sugar, man. Asking each other for damn ketchup. Right? Can I use your football? Can I use your basketball? Whatever it may be. Hey, but that type of love is not in our community no more. Right? It's not in the world no more. Right? And Yahushua prophesied about this. Right? So this is red letters, Yahushua. This is Matthew 24 and verse 12, and it reads, and because iniquity shall abound, and we have a bunch of iniquity abounding on this earth, right? And it's plain. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So love is waxing cold, right? Love is literally waxing cold in these last days. So us in this truth, we have to really replenish love. You understand? We have to really love our brothers and sisters in this thing, man. Right? In truth and sincerity, not with dissimulation, right? Don't be trying to act like you love somebody for your own, to fulfill your own agenda. You understand? So now I want to get this in the law, right? So in these last days, we have to let brotherly love continue. And a lot of brothers, they don't really want to teach about love. They don't really want to teach about the fruits of the Spirit. They feel like they sound like a Christian. You understand? But hey, the Lord said, let brotherly love continue, right? And love is the fruits of the Spirit. Right, so where was I going? Salaki, Leviticus 19 and verse 17, right? So this is the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. It reads, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. And that's all the way back to the law, right? That's why we're supposed to preach love. We're supposed to preach peace, you understand? Right? You got to preach the whole Bible. You can't just preach things that sound good to you. Hey, we got to get in there and teach everything, man. Right? Love, peace, right? Death, famine. You understand? You got to bring these things out. Prophecy, right? So I'm going to read that again from the top. It's Leviticus 19 and verse 17. It reads, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Right? So when you see your brother going off, when you see a sister going off, you got to rebuke them. You have to reprove them. Why? It's out of love, because you don't want to see them in sin. It's almost like the classic analogy. You see a brother or sister kind of walking in the street with their headphones on and looking the opposite way, and you got a big damn bus coming after them, right? They don't see it, but you see it, right? So you got to kind of get in there, man. Get them out the way of that bus. That's the same way when you see your brothers and sisters in the midst of sin, you got to try to help get them out of sin through reproof, right? Through rebuke. You understand? And that's ultimately love. Right? I'm going to read on. Verse 18. It says, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. So don't be holding grudges against the children of your people, man. If somebody offended you, you let them know. Right? Let's kind of get in there real fast. Let's get this inside right. Right? So don't be secretly angry. That's wicked. You understand? Being, Salaki, how should I say this, right? Being offended by someone, or feeling some type of way, as the world would say, you feeling some type of way about a brother or sister, right? And you just holding it in your heart and you're not letting them know. That's off. You understand? That's off. Because now you're kind of being around the brother. You kind of giving the brother the salute, right? You kind of reading around the sister. Shalom, sis. You get a sister to hug. But really deep in your mind, you feel some type of way about the sister, man. Right? You feel some type of way about that brother. That's off. Right? That's wicked. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 20 and verse 2, and it reads, it is much better to reprove than to be angry secretly. So it's much better to reprove, right? Let another a brother or sister know where they offended you at, or where they're going off at, right? Reprove them than to be angry secretly. Because when you constantly build up that anger, next thing you know, you're gonna kind of go off, man. Right? And now you separating from brothers. You separating from the congregation all over something that you could have easily just spoke on, man. Right? So it says, it is much better to reprove than to be angry secretly, right? He that confesseth his fault shall be preserved from hurt, right? But the point is much more better to reprove than to be angry secretly. So I want to read verse 18 again, Leviticus 19 and 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's plain, right? The Lord said, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, man. Right? That's heavy. You have to love your neighbor as yourself, as you love yourself. Let's go to 1 John 3. Right? So we have to love one another in these last days, man. Right? And we're that nation not desired. Hey, and even in this truth, you're going to be desired by your own nation of people, right? The lost Israelites, man. Right? They're going to despise you, right, for your truth. Right? So, hey, you definitely need the love from the brothers and sisters that's among you walking in this truth with you, right? Because everybody else in this world going to hate you for this truth. You understand? Let's go to 1 John. Right? So this is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, and this whole thing is good, right? But we're going I'll start from 11, right? This 1 John 3 and 11, it says, and this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we shall love one another, right? So we just read in the law. We heard this from the beginning, right? That we shall love one another, right? It says, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother, right? Wherefore slew he him, right? Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous, right? So Cain slew Abel because he was envious of his works, right? His own works were evil and his brother's righteous, right? So that's wicked. You can't be envious of your brothers in this thing. It says, marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you, right? We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. And you know you're baptized through Yahushua. You're baptized through this word when you love your brothers, man. Right? And it says, Salakia, he that loveth not his brother abideth in death. And that's plain. If you don't love your brother in this thing, hey, you abide in death. And you're not going to make it. If you don't love your brother, you abide in death. You understand? You're already condemned. Right? It says, whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. Right? And you know that no murderer have eternal life abide in him, man. Right? And whosoever hateth his brother, he's a murderer. Right? And no murderer have eternal life abiding in him. Right? That's plain. That's plain. You don't have to pick up a pistol, kind of cock it back and blow a brother's head off, man. Right? To be a murderer. To be a murderer, all you have to do is hate your brother in your heart, man. That's what the Lord said. It says, hereby perceive we the love of the Most High, because he had laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. Right? It says, but whoso have this road, and that's heavy, right? We know the Most High God loves us because he sent out his only begotten son to die for our sins, right? And in these last days, we got to be willing to lay down our lives for our brothers, right? And it says, but whoso have this world's goods, and see if his brother have need, and shut up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of the Most High in him, right? So like I was going into earlier, if you got on a damn probably got on 2 coats, whatever it may be. You walk past a brother, he's shivering, right? He cold, right? He don't have a coat. And you got on 2 coats, and you just, Shalom, brother, Lord willing, you find you a coat, right? And you don't take off that coat and give it to your brother. That's wicked. You understand? That's off. So that's what it's talking about. It says, but whoso have this world's goods, and see if his brother have need, and shut up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of the Most High in him? Right, so how does the love of the Most High dwell in you if you can't even take off your coat, take off your one of your coats and give it to a brother, man? Right, if you damn got 5 cheeseburgers in your Burger King bag and your brother is out there starving and you can't give 1 cheeseburger to that brother, how do you love that brother, man? Right, you don't. Right, because a lot of brothers like to throw that word love around, man. Right, that's in the world on the left hand side, even in the truth. A lot of brothers just, I love you, brother. It's all love, brother. Yeah, I love you, brother. right? A lot of brothers love in word, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it. It's the next verse actually, so that's the spirit. Real fast. Let me get this real fast. Quick precept off what I was just bringing out. So this is the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 15. It reads, if a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, right? And one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled. So like I was exactly what I was just saying, right? You kind of got the extra coat for the brother, but instead of giving it to him, you just say, Shalom, brother. Lord willing, you be filled. Lord willing, you find you a coat and get warm, right? But you ain't take the coat off your back and give it to him. That's wicked. It says, notwithstanding, you give him not those things which are needful to the body. What doeth it profit? There's no profit in that. Hey, I love you, brother Shalom, but you're not loving in action, man. You showing your love through word. Right? So I want to go back. So this is 1 John 3 and 18, right? And it's the point. It says, my little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and truth. Right? So the Lord said, right? John speaking in the spirit, he said, let us not love in tongue. Right? Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. A lot of people just throw that word around, right? But they're not going to be there for you in the times of adversity. Right, in the times of tribulation, when you need somebody to shoot you them precepts, when you need somebody to pray with you, when you need somebody to fast with you, they're not going to actually be there, man. They just love in word. You understand? So that's why you got to use discernment in this thing, man. Right? So I'm going to read that again. This is a heavy precept. This is the book of 1 John. So don't think everybody that say Shalom and they got on fringes is your brother in this thing, man. I'm going to just keep it plain. Like on a manifold level, we all are brothers because we're all Israelites. But Yahweh Shai showed us who our actual neighbors were in the parable of the Good Samaritan. Right? And we're not going to go into the whole parable, but basically the Lord said I'm gonna bring it out, right? But this is my little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth, right? And we're gonna bring it out through the spirit, right? So go to it. Right? So we're going to bring out the parable of the Good Samaritan. Right? We're going to show who our neighbor is. I don't want to really kind of get the whole thing. This whole thing is fire though, right? So this is the book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse, I'm going to get straight to the point, right? 36, it says, which now of these three, I'm going to read it, right? We're going to get into it. There's no point in rushing it, right? I got to get in there, right? Let's start from 30. It says, and Yahweh Shai answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. Right? So you had a certain brother, right, who kind of got robbed. You understand? And he was left there half dead. And it says, and by chance, there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So you had a priest, you understand? Right? A Levite. And he saw his brother laid out half dead, and he kind of looked at him and kept walking, man. Right? And he's supposed to be a doctor of the law. Right? He does the service in the tabernacle of the Most High. Right? But yet he seen his brother half dead, and he walked right past him. Right? So it says, and by chance, Salakia, verse 32, and likewise a Levite, when he was at that place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. And a Levite, he knew the law as well. You understand? And yet he seen his brother and he walked right past. He seen his brother half dead. He probably got his fringes on. He got the big mitri on, right? He probably so-called overzealous about the law, right? Whatever it may be, right? He was a Levite. It was a reason why Yahweh Shai said he used the Levite and the priest in this parable, right? And it says, and likewise the Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. So that Levite, he seen his brother half dead, right? And he walked right past him, right? With the big garment on and the fringes on, man, right? And it says, and the main reason the Lord used these men because they were still in Jerusalem, right? They were men that were supposed to have understanding of the law. They were men that know where they came from. That's why the Lord used them in this example. In verse 33, it says, but a certain Samaritan, right? So now you got an Israelite foreigner, right? A certain Samaritan, right? Who the Jews looked down upon. the Jews looked down on their brothers who weren't raised in the law, statutes, and commandments, right? So it says, but a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him. So now this Samaritan, he saw his brother half dead, and he stopped and said, hold on, I gotta take care of my brother, man. Right? And it says, so, hey, man, come on, man. It says, and it's the same, that same priest, and that same Levite will be the same ones reading Leviticus 19 and 17. And the law says you gotta love your brother as yourself, man. But yet they see their brother half dead, and they won't stop to help him, man. Right? And it says, but a Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine. That's on a carnal level, but even on the spiritual level, hey, you want to be that brother as well on the spiritual level. When your brother is nigh unto death spiritually, your brother, you see your brother's not reading, he doesn't want to talk about the Bible, right? He's not coming to camp. You understand? He just kind of just waxing worse and worse in this thing, right? And when you see your brother waxing worse and worse in this thing, you should want to be that brother to reach out and try to heal your brother's wounds, right? Spiritually, right? You might shoot the brother some precepts. You might let the brother know, hey, brother, I'm always here if you want to fast. Hey, I'm always here if you want to read some chapters. I'm always here if you want to study together, whatever it may be. Hey, I'm here for you, brother, right? And that's what the Samaritan was, right? And it says, and went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast and brought him to an inn, right? And took care of him, right? So he took care of the brother, right? And it says, and on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host and said unto him, take care of him. And whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee, right? So it says, which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? So now Yahushua is asking the brother, which one do you think was that man's neighbor? Was it the Levite? Was it the priest? Or was it that Samaritan that took care of him, right? That healed his wounds. You understand? In verse 37 it says, and he said, he that showed mercy on him, then said Yahushua unto him, go and do thou likewise. Right? So the point that Yahushua was trying to teach this man is everybody that's basically everybody that's wearing fringes, right, is not your neighbor in this thing, man. Right? Your neighbor is him that actually loves you, right? That has mercy on you, right? That's what Yahushua was teaching, man. Right? Let's go to John. And that's a beautiful parable. Let's go to John 13 and verse 34. This red letter as well, and it reads, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. So Yahushua gave commandment as he said, the same way as y'all watch me walk this earth and love y'all, hey, that's how you love one another, man. The only reason why he said a new commandment, because he said that you love one another as I have loved you. Right before Yahushua came on the scene, you wouldn't know how to love another brother how Yahushua loved him. Right? But when he came on the scene, now he said, hey, I see how I loved y'all. Hey, that's how you love your brother. Right? So that's what that's going into. And verse 35, it says, but this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if you have love one to another. Right? And that's how you know when you're dealing with an actual disciple of Yahushua, man. Right? And this always makes me think about a lesson the elder Yahweh did, right? Where he talked about how are you a disciple of Moses or a disciple of Yahushua? Are you just in this thing and you never teach Yahushua, you never teach love, you never teach the fruits of the spirit, but you always law. You always talking about the damn law, right? And you never teach the teachings of Yahushua. You never teach about the fruits of the spirit. You never want to teach about grace. You never want to teach about mercy. You just law. Hey, you didn't keep the law, you're going to be put to death. You're going to be put to death, right? But hey, and that's the spirit that the Levites was in, that we just read about in the parable of the Good Samaritan, right? You had these men that knew the law, but yet they didn't love their brothers, man. They really didn't love their brothers in sincerity and truth, right? They walked right past the damn brother while he was half dead, man. Kind of just walking past him, you understand? Right? That's why Yahushua said this, verse 35. I'm going to read it again. It says, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if you have love one to another. So we can tell, hey, That Levite and that priest that walked past the half-dead brother, they weren't disciples of Yahushua, right? They didn't have the spirit of Yahushua, right? So in these last days, we're the disciples of Yahushua, man, right? We're disciples of Yahushua, right? We have to love our brother in sincerity and truth in this thing, man, right? Let's go to Galatians. There's no such thing as, that's Christianity, brother. That's a Christian teaching, right? Brothers think grace and mercy and the fruits of the Spirit is Christian teachings, man, right? It's off. Let's go to Galatians 5:22, right? And love is one of the traits of the Spirit, right? The fruits of the Spirit. I want to bring this out. Galatians 5:22, it says, but the fruit of the Spirit, right? It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith. Right? Brothers think that's makes them soft if they're gentle with their brothers. Right? That makes them soft if they love their brothers. Right? That makes them soft if they teach about the fruits of the Spirit. Right? But Yahushua loved his brothers, man. Right? Yahushua was merciful and compassionate when dealing with his brothers. Yahushua was gentle, man. Right? So that's just what it is. Let's go to Galatians. Salaki, let's go to Romans 12. And verse 9, right? And it says, let love be without dissimulation, meaning let love be without deception, right? Let love be without guile. Love and sincerity and truth, right? And it says, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity, right? He that ruleth with diligence. Salaki, I kind of went up. I kind of going off. Right, I'm going to read verse 9 again. It says, let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good, right? It says, be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love. So you have to be kindly affectionate one to another, man. Right? With brotherly love, man. Right? And it says, in honor, preferring one another, man. You have to prefer your brothers and sisters in this thing, right? So you constantly see love, right? Being affectionate, being gentle, being meek, you understand? Being long-suffering with your brothers, right? Being merciful, right? Being compassionate. That's throughout the scriptures, man, right? And the Most High God is a merciful God, right? Let's go to 1 Peter 1. Go to 1 Peter 1. The scriptures is not all about being mighty, man. A damn mighty man spirit. Brothers coming to this truth and feel like they're King David back on the earth, right? They're Judas Maccabeus back on the earth. Brothers never want to talk about the apostles, right? Brothers barely talk about Yahushua. Hey, you gotta watch out for those brothers that barely talk about Yahushua, man. Brothers that never teach lessons about Yahushua. It's always talking about being mighty, always talking about the law, but they never teach about Yahushua. They never teach about grace. They never teach about mercy, right? You got to watch out for those brothers, man. Right? Because the Lord said this real fast, not trying to go off topic, but this is all through the Spirit. Maybe somebody need to hear this, man. Right? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 17, and verse 5, and it reads, while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. That's what the Most High God said. Right? He said, hey, y'all listen to Yahushua, man. Hey, so you better be in the teachings of Yahushua in these last days, man. Right? You better get to know your Lord and Savior, because he is the way, the truth, and the life. And only through him are you going to live, man. Right? So I'm not trying to go off topic. But like I said, it's through the Spirit, right? You gotta, so watch out for those brothers that never teach about Yahushua, right? Let's go to John 14. This is John 14 and verse 6, and it reads, because only through Yahushua do you get life, right? Only through Yahushua do you get life, man. Right? So if you're not dealing with Yahushua, you're not abiding in Yahushua, then Yahushua is not abiding in you, and you're not going to abide with the Most High. Right? Because you can only come before the Most High God through the mediator, which is Yahushua. Right? So, let's bring this out. It's the book of St. John, chapter 14, and verse 6, and it reads, Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Right? So make sure you're getting to know the Lord in these last days. Make sure you're abiding in Yahushua, right? So that way he can abide in you. And that's ultimately how you're going to get life. You don't get life no other way but through Yahushua. Let's make that plain, right? So once again, hey, you got to watch out for brothers that's never talking about Yahushua, man. Right? You watch a damn whole 3-hour lesson and nothing about Yahushua came out. Brothers just talking about themselves and talking about other things but Yahushua, man. Right? And I just wanted to make that quick point. And Salaki, I kind of lost where I wanted to go. Let's go to, I think, yeah, this is what I wanted. 1 Peter 1:22, right? And it reads, seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren. See that you love one another with a pure heart fervently. And you want to be on fire when it comes to your love for your brothers, man. Right? You want to be on fire when it comes to the love for your brothers, man. Because this thing not about you. If you see your brother falling short, you want to make that known, man. Right? You want to reprove your brother in meekness, of course. Right? In meekness and in truth and sincerity. Right? Don't be trying to lord over brothers. Right? Don't be trying to make yourself feel like, look like you're above brothers or you better than the next brother. Hey, man, condescend to men of a low estate. Right? No matter the spirit that the Lord put on you, you might feel like you're stronger than other brothers or whatever it may be. Right? Hey, don't ever try to feel like you're above a next brother or you're high and mighty above another brother, man. You should be that much more humble, right? And you should really want to condescend to brothers of a lower state and be there to help brothers that's waxing weak in the spirit. Because one day you can wax weak in the spirit. You can start to wax worse and worse. And that same brother that you look down on going to be the brother that the Lord used to uplift you, man. That same brother that you said, man, he a nigga, he smoking weed, right? He going back into the world. And next thing you know, that brother repent and the Lord have him wax mighty, man. Right? And now you waxing worse and worse, right? Because you were being prideful, right? And that same brother that you look down on, hey, he gonna kind of grab you by your shirt and bring you back in this thing, man. Right? That's how the Lord could get down. That's what happened with Salakia, with Joseph and his brothers, right? They kind of left him for dead, and he was the same vessel that the Lord used to make sure they lived, man, to make sure they were fed in the famine. You understand? So we got to love one another with a pure heart fervently, man. Right? And always be willing to condescend to men of a lower state. Right? Don't ever feel like you high and mightier than the next brother, because you're really not nothing but dust and ashes, man. You're a filthy rag before the Lord. Right? So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 133 and verse 1, and it reads, behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity, man. That's a beautiful thing in the eyes of the Lord, right? The Lord said how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity, right? And I'm going to read on. It says, it is like the precious ointment upon the head, right? So it's like precious ointment upon the head that run down the beard, even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirts of his garment, man. Right? But the point is, hey, the Lord said how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So for us Israelites to come together in unity, that's a beautiful thing in the eyes of the Lord. You understand? That's plain upon tables. Let's go to Romans 1. Right? And the way we unify is in our faith in Yahushua. Right? Let's go to Romans 1. Right? Because Salaki, this is right. So this is the book of Romans chapter 1 and verse 12, and it reads, that is, that I may be comforted together with you. Salakia. Romans 1 and 12, it says, that is, that I may be comforted together with you by the mutual faith, both of you and me. Right? So that's how we're comforted together. Right? By the mutual faith that we have in the Lord. Right? In Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. Right? That's how we're comforted together in this thing. Right? Through the mutual faith that we have. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel. So let's get some examples of brotherly love, man. Right? Our forefathers loved one another, man. Right? We're going to go to an example of Jonathan and King David. Right? This is a mighty account. Right? So this is the book of Salakia. Bear with me. I'm I'm gonna just get this right. This whole thing is good, right? But this is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 1, and it reads. It says, and it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, right? And Jonathan loved him as his own soul. So Jonathan loved his brother David as his own soul, right? And it says, and Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David. So like we was going in earlier, you got to be willing to do these things. Take the coat off your back and give it to your brother, right? Take that armor off your back that you don't need, right? But your brother needed, right? You give it to your brother, right? Take out your sword and kind of give it to your brother because he needed more than you. We got to be willing to do these things, man. That's true and sincere love, right? So it didn't just say Jonathan loved David and told him, hey, I love you, brother, and just walked off. No, man. It said he loved him at his own soul, and then it showed action that he did to show that love. That goes back to 1 John 3 and 18. You have to love in truth and in deed, man, right? So it says, and Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword and to his bow and to his girdle. So he gave him all his armor, right? His sword, right? He took it all off and gave it to his brother, man, because he knew his brother, his father sought David's life, man, right? And that's all I wanted on that, man. That's mighty, man. That's true brotherly love, right? That's true brotherly love. Let's go to the book of Acts. Let's go to the book of Acts. Chapter 7 and verse 24. And it reads, I'm going to start from 23. I'm going to start from 22. It says, and Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and deeds, right? And it says, and when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren of the children of Israel. And seeing one of them suffer wrong, right, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed and smote the Egyptian. So he seen the Egyptian oppressing his brother, right, a fellow Israelite, and he slayed the Egyptian, right, and buried him in the sand. We all know that account. That goes back to Exodus chapter, I believe it's Exodus chapter 3, right? And it says, hold on real fast. Let me check real fast. Salaki, bear with me. Salaki is Exodus chapter 2 and verse 11 on down, right? And it says, and seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed and smote the Egyptian. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that the Most High God by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not, right? And it's a heavy point, verse 26. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying, sirs, you are brethren. Why do you wrong one to another? Right? So Moses seen the next day after he smote the Egyptian, he went out again and seen two of his brothers fighting. And he said, yo, what's going on, man? Hey, y'all brothers, man. Why is y'all doing each other wrong? That's basically what Moses told him, man. Right? He said, hey, we brothers, we supposed to love each other. Why y'all doing wrong to one another? Right? It's mighty, man. Right? So that's how our forefathers got down. Right? We cared about each other, man. Right? We loved one another. Right? We didn't want to strive with one another. You understand? And that's the spirit, because we're going to bring this out. Right? Let's bring this out. It's Genesis 13 and verse 1, right? Dealing with Abraham and Lot. It says, and Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him, and to the south, and Abraham was very rich in cattle and silver and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar, which he made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord, right? And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them. So they had so many riches that they couldn't both dwell in this land. They had too much cattle, too many servants, right? So they couldn't both fit in this land. And it says that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together, right? They had too many riches. And there was strife between the herdmen of Abraham's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, right? And it says, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land, right? And this is the point. This is actually a heavy and a beautiful point. Verse 8, and Abraham said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee. So Abraham, a man of war, you can read about in the next chapter, right? How Abraham went to war just to get Lot back from these damn heathen. Right? But the point is, I'm going to read that again. It says that Abraham said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee. But between him and his brother, he said, hey, let it not be no strife, man. I don't want no problems with my brothers, no matter how much of a man of war I am. It's the same way King David felt about Saul. King David was a man of valor, man. Right? But he didn't want no war with his brother. He said, hey, I don't want to touch the Lord's anointed, man. Right? So it says, and Abraham said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee. But nowadays, hey, us being cursed, we take pride in having so-called beef with our brother, man. Right? We want strife with our brothers. That's another thing we rap about, just having beef with our brothers. Right? Our own brothers being our enemies. You understand that evil eye? We can see that curse playing out on a major scale. Right? So let me read this verse again from the top. This is actually, it's a heavy verse, right? It says, and Abraham said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. So Abraham said, man, don't let it be no strife between us, man. You my brother, man. That's what he said, man. Right? He said, for we be brethren, man. Like, hey, we don't need to have this vain strife, man. We be brethren, man. Right? Verse 9, it says, is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go right. So he said, hey, let's just separate ourselves. If you want to go to the left hand, I'm going to go right. So he giving his brother the choice, man. He said, hey, the ball is in your court, man. You want to go left? I'm going to take the right, right? He said, or if thou would depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. So Abraham said, or if you want the right, hey, brother, I'll go left, man. I just don't want it to be no strife between us because you my brother, man. Right? And that's the point I wanted on that, man. So this is the love that our forefathers have for one another, man. Right? And we want to come back to this, right? We want to come back to this love, right? Let's go to Romans 5. Right, that's a beautiful account, man. Let's go to Romans 5 and verse 6, right? So we got to be willing to humble down like King David. We got to be willing to humble down like Abraham. A lot of brothers like to keep strife going, right? That's carnal, man. Right? And that's not the fruits of the spirit. A lot of brothers would have too much pride for that. A lot of brothers would be like, man, well, I'm going to the right, you take the left, right? Right? Or you and your herdmen get out of here. But Abraham he ain't do that, man. He was humble. He was meek. He was loving, right? So this is the book of Romans chapter 5 and verse 6, and it reads, for when we were yet without strength, in due time, Yahushua died for the ungodly. Right? So Yahushua died for the ungodly when we were without strength. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die. Yet peradventure for a good man, some will even dare to die. So even for a good man, hey, brothers going to hesitate to lay down their lives. You understand? It says, but the Most High God commended his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Yahushua died for us. So this is how we know that Yahushua loves us. You understand? Right? Because the Most High God sacrificed his only begotten son. Right? And his only begotten son, Yahushua, was willing to die for the sins of the nation. Right? So we know we're loved by Yahushua, man. Right? So, hey, love is what this thing is about, really. You understand? Because ultimately the keeping of the commandments is love. Let me get that. So this thing is all about love, right? And Yahushua said, that's one of the main commandments. Let me see if I can get that real fast. Salakia. Kind of don't remember that off the top of my head. Bear with me. I kind of don't remember that precept, but I want to bring it out. Oh, I think I brought that out. Salakia, I brought that out. Salakia, I brought that out. Let's go to 1 John. Let's go to the book of 1 John. Let me get another one, though, real fast through the Spirit. It's the book of Romans chapter 13 and verse 8, and it reads, owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth one another hath fulfilled the law. Right? So love, when you love your brother, you fulfill the law, right? And it says, for this, thou shalt not commit adultery, right? And that's going into, because when you love your brother, I believe I started off the video saying this, you're not going to lay with his wife. You're not going to steal from him. You're not going to kill that brother. You're not going to covet after that brother's things, right? But I'm going to read on. It says, for this, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill, right? It's just going into the same thing. It says, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. And if there be any commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, right? That's plain. It says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law, right? So when you're fulfilling the law, hey, that's loving your neighbor, right? Let's go to, got another precept I was thinking about. That's what I want. That's what I want. It's 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3, and it reads, it's not what I want. I want 1 John 5 and 2. This 1 John chapter 5 and verse 2, and it reads, by this we know that we love the children of the Most High, right? And the children of the Most High are the Israelites. When we love the Most High and keep his commandments, right? That's plain. So when you're keeping the commandments, you're loving your brothers, but it's really ultimately keeping the commandments in the spirit and in truth, you understand? Not like that Levite and that damn priest that we read about in the parable of the Good Samaritans, right? But that's because ultimately they were damn hypocrites at the end of the day, right? They weren't really keeping all the commandments, because if they were, they wouldn't have just walked past their brother who was nigh unto death, right? And let's stay in 1 John and let's get chapter 4 and verse 11, right? And it reads, 1 John 4 and verse 11, it reads, beloved, if the Most High so loved us, we ought also to love one another. So if the Most High God loved us, we ought also to love one another. That's plain, right? And verse 20, it says, I'm going to jump to verse 20. It says, if a man say, I love the Most High and hateth his brother, he is a liar. This is plain, right? The Lord said, if a man say he loved the Most High God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, right? So you see your brother with your bodily eyes, right? Your carnal eyes. It says, how can he love the Most High God who he have not seen? So how could you say you love the Most High God who you don't see and yet you don't love your brother, man? That's heavy. And it says, and this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth the Most High love his brother also, right? And if you love the Most High, you love your brother also, man. That's plain, right? So if you say you love the Most High and you don't love your brothers, you a damn liar, man, right? You're a damn liar in this thing, right? And Lord willing, this is edifying. Lord willing, brothers and sisters got the understanding thereof, right? Hey, we got to love one another in these last days, man, right? Because the love in this world is waxing cold, right? So continue to study, continue to read, continue to pray, continue to fast, continue to reach out to brothers and sisters, right? Continue to love your brothers in truth and sincerity and in deed, right? And not just in word. Stop just saying, I love you, I love you, I love you all day, but it's no action behind it. You understand? Right, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right, and with that, I want to say Shalom Yasha Allah.